Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold versus Crystal. We are back here in Celadon City so that we can head over to the west to Route 16 and then on to Cycling Road, which will then take us south to Fuchsia City for yet another Pokémon gym. But first off, Cycling Road. I don't care if it says Route 17 on there, it's Cycling Road. Anyway, Cycling Road is the hippest place for all the motorcyclists. We're a little less cool because we have an actual, manual powered bike. I didn't realize that as a kid, but this is where all the biker gangs hang out, basically. And you will find, with those biker gangs, lots and lots of poison types. And I'll be showing the ones that are interesting, most notably those that are from Hoenn or Sinnoh, such as this Gulpin. Gulpin, pure poison type, introduced kind of as a counterpart to Grimer. And actually, curiously, was introduced in a route right near the Hoenn Cycling Road. Coincidence? Probably not. And of course you will also find plenty of Grimer and plenty of coughing and things of that sort. Anyway, the thing about Cycling Road from a navigational standpoint is that it's on a constant downward slope, so that if you have no input whatsoever on the D-pad, you will naturally ride down, which is neat. It's a break from basically how the rest of the game controls without being super annoying. Anyway, another poison type here is Croagunk. He is a poison fighting type that was introduced in Sinnoh, and probably one of my favorite poison types and one of my favorite fighting types. It's really cool. It evolves into something called Toxicroak, which this one should have evolved into, but I guess didn't. Brock had one in the anime. It liked to stab him. It's just as disturbing as I made it sound. But anyway, you can bypass a lot of these trainers if you so desire, because the way they're positioned, they will have blind spots and whatnot. But if you are just casually riding down the slope, not having much input, you will run into a bunch of trainers. Quite easy to avoid if necessary. And then Seviper. Seviper is a 3rd gen poison type, pure poison. Jessie had one in the anime. And Seviper loves to mess with me because I keep thinking it's part dark type because it's mostly black, but it's not. So I think it is, and I don't want to use a Psychic type move on it, which would be super effective, but it's pure poison. People got on my case so much for not using Psychic moves on Sevipers way back in the day. But anyway, that's Cycling Road. There are other trainers that I bypassed. You can fight them for more experience if you so desire, but I have no need as of right now. And here we are in Fuchsia City. Fuchsia City, it has a gym, and also has invisible walls, and it has a Safari Zone, I think. I don't even know what it is now anymore. Safari Zone moved. But here in the Fuchsia gym, we have plenty of seemingly clone people, but such is not the case. You have a bunch of people dressed up as the gym leader, and you need to talk to all of them in order to figure out which one is the correct one. Also, I love the guy's dialogue right there. And if you pick incorrectly, you will have to fight the trainer. And if you pick correctly, you will have to fight the gym leader, so whatever. Anyway, this one I believe is the real one right here. Right in the middle. I think she's standing where, where her dad stood. Where Koga stood. Because for the first and not the last time actually in Kanto, the gym leaders have changed a little bit since the red, blue, yellow generation. This is Janine. Janine is the daughter of Koga, who has since been promoted to the Elite Four. And in the original Crystal, as you'll see, she was originally a lot weaker to demonstrate this fact, but now it's just, she's kind of another gym leader. And as you might have suspected based on her colors and her dad and Cycling Road, everything, she is a poison type leader. And of course, Crobat showing off the skills that it learned from its sensei, the Sudowoodo, of not dying when it really should. Anyway, I originally came in here and went on that detour last episode to evolve Frida, in hopes that having fully evolved Frida, complete with Psychic, would allow me to breeze through a lot of this gym, because really your two reliable move types against poison types are Psychic and Ground doesn't work against flying types, so things like that, Crobat would have trouble. But unfortunately, she kind of went down really quickly. That wasn't so great. Anyway, now we got Ariados. We have a mirror match up in here. And as you can see, that Ariados is dishing out a Psychic of its own. I believe that is a level up move for Ariados that Webster hadn't gotten to yet, or passed up because it's not really that useful on a physical attacker. But as you can see, it worked to Janine's advantage, so that's great. Let's prey on the fact that it's also a bug type and use Flamethrower. All of my plans are kind of going for naught right here. But I still have Sandra. Sandra will be good. Next up is Weezing. Weezing is another reason to bring something other than a ground type to be with this gym, because Weezing has the ability to levitate, which makes it immune to all ground type moves. This isn't the case in Crystal, as you'll find out. But, yeah, so you have to use something like Psychic, or just pound on it with some special moves, because it is a physical wall, as far as I remember. Unfortunately, it's not a flammable gas, otherwise Flamethrower would be really good against it. But that's not this game. And you're still alive. That annoys me. You saw the use Toxic on Bree. Oh, Explosion Grace. Use Toxic on Bree. I will explain Toxic in a little more detail later on. But basically, it's a poison-inflicting move with additional benefits for the user. Benefits that I hope to make use of at some point. Anyway, yet another Ariados. I don't know the difference between the previous one and this one. Most likely a moveset difference. Maybe the other one's special, this one's physical. I couldn't tell you, because most of the time you'll be taking care of them pretty quickly. Anyway, after a Swords Dance and a Swagger, Sandra now has extremely high physical attack. And assuming that I don't hurt myself in confusion, basically anything that she sends out will be one-shotted by Earthquake, ideally. Sandra was kind of my ace in the hole here. I didn't want to pull her out from the beginning, because otherwise that would be less interesting. That would be Lieutenant Surge all over again. And I guess every once in a while we need a clean sweep, but that's can't have it too often. Anyway, last Pokemon is Venomoth. Now Venomoth, despite clearly being above the ground, is neither part flying type nor has the ability to levitate, so ground type moves will work on it. It's a bug poison type. And that means Earthquake is a good way to go. Also fire moves. And that takes care of Janine. Overall, not too much of an issue. Probably because I had the actual types to take care of them, like, in a reasonable manner. But check out the Crystal fight after this commercial break. Alrighty, Janine, here we go, in Crystal, let's do this. Now, a lot of people will remember Janine from the Crystal fight because she's very, very different in that she is incredibly low-leveled. She is the lowest leveled trainer, not trainer, but gym leader in Kanto. Because it's meant to reflect the fact that she's a new gym leader. She has just taken over after Koga left, and she hasn't had time to become super powerful. But essentially the result is that smack dab in the middle of the post-game, you have this trainer who's about on the level of, like, Claire? which is ridiculously easy at this point, and also isn't a dragon-type trainer, so is much easier to take care of. But anyway, let's give this a shot. The levels are actually on my side this time. I'm slightly above her, which means that Crobat doesn't employ the Sudowoodo tactic. And there's Weezing. Now Weezing, like I said in HeartGold Fight, does not have Levitate in this generation, which means Earthquake will work against it. But it still won't work against Crobat, so you'll want to have something to deal with that. But look at that, look at that. This is what I was hoping would happen in HeartGold, is Frida comes out and busts out a bunch of Psychics and one-shots everything. But that's not what happened. Anyway, 2 Weezing in this version, rather than the single Weezing of the previous version. And we'll have to see the rest of her team to see what other variations there might be. Does she have 2 Ariados again? Possibly. I don't remember. This is a learning experience for all of us. There's 1 Ariados. Now do we go for the mirror match? No, we go for Sandra, I guess. For the sake of totally cleaning her clock with a different Pokemon, I guess. But look at that, level 33 right there. That's some price shit right there. It's very, very jarring and glaring, the fact that this is so low-leveled. Like, in an already piss-easy post-game, this is just insulting. Anyway, that's the last Pokemon there, Venomoth. So apparently she decided to trade out one of her Weezing for an Ariados for the remakes. Not sure why she would do that. Weezing are kind of, like, probably more annoying. I don't know. But anyway, take care of the Venomoth in much the same way as before. Just Sans the Swagger and Sans the Swords Dance. More or less the same result, but not a one-shot. I could have also, hypothetically, like, used Rollout, and that would be super effective, but that would probably take longer. And that's Venomoth. And that's Janine. Overall, not too hard in either version, but most definitely absolutely harder in HeartGold because they made her levels not deliberately pathetic. That's a pretty notable difference. Now I'm doing something a little different here, because she actually gives you a very different TM after the Crystal fight than in the HeartGold fight, and it's a TM that is very, very relevant to my interests. It is in fact the TM for Toxic, and Toxic is that poison move that I'm sure I've explained before, but it is a poison-inflicting move wherein the poison gets worse and does more damage every turn. And that is incredibly, incredibly useful for anyone who decides to stall the opponent. Also can be learned by just about everybody, it looks like. But I'm giving it to Frida. I could also give it to Everett and probably have very good results. But Frida was using Poison Powder here already and may as well up the ante. Now, Toxic is available in HeartGold. It's just a lot harder to get. You gotta, like, win it as a prize from Battle Tower. Get a bunch of points or something. It's a lot of work, it's annoying, I didn't want to bother. But, also useful here is this TM84 for Poison Jab. And Poison Jab is the long-awaited physical poison attack that I can give to my wonderful favorite person, Webster, and replace Sludge Bomb, and actually have a pretty darn strong stab move that runs off his good attack stat. So hopefully we'll have a chance to employ that against unsuspecting victims. Anyway, that takes care of the Fuchsia City gym. Now if you just find our way out. Originally you could, like, see the invisible walls if you paid close attention to the floor. Now you just have to smash into things. Anyway, that takes care of the gym, and... Hello, Mother. Yeah, I've heard all this before. Thank you. Alright, see ya. Yeah, bye. That takes care of the gym, and I will see you guys next time.